Cornell University, I'm Dr. David Just. Whether lawmakers are trying to curb obesity, reduce gun violence, or trying to protect children, they have a choice as to how they're going to frame the policies that they propose. And it turns out how they frame those policies makes all the difference in how effective they're going to be. So for example, if we wanted to reduce people's consumption of less healthy foods, fatty and sugary type foods, we can impose a tax on those foods, but imposing that tax ends up generating something of an emotional response from the people who like those foods. And those people in particular push back, and the way they push back is by consuming more of those foods. That doesn't mean that the tax is going to be entirely ineffective in changing people's behavior, but it wouldn't be less effective than if we had just an equivalent price change instead of the tax. We also see this in places like schools. When chocolate milk is banned, we find that students end up drinking a lot less milk on campus, but when we look off campus, they start drinking more and more chocolate milk because they feel like their freedom has been threatened and they want to rebel. On the other hand, we can frame these same sorts of policies in a positive light and draw on those same sorts of emotions in a positive way to make the policies more effective. One of the best examples of this comes out of war era advertisements produced by the government. For example, this advertisement right here comes out of a war era, and it is encouraging people to eat more of these relatively healthy foods and to eat less of meat, sugar, and fats, something I think we're trying to encourage people to do today as well. The difference is, it makes this appeal in order to protect our soldiers and to preserve these foods for them. And by doing that, it puts the ball in the court of the consumer in terms of whether they're going to comply or not, and gives them this sort of positive emotional feeling that they need to respond, that it's their duty. That sort of framing could be much more effective in actually reaching the goal of changing behavior. For Cornell University, I'm Dr. David Just.